Time for this week's pickup video. Well, I've been traveling a lot again. I was up in Virginia this week. Visit some flea markets up there, not flea markets, thrift shops like Goodwill, Salvation Army. I did visit a game store up there called Video Game Heaven. They got two locations, one on in Chesapeake and one on Virginia Beach. And I did a Gamer Spots video. I haven't posted a video yet, but I did a Gamer Spots video for the location. That'll be on my Gamer Spots page here pretty soon. There's a linky down here to their Facebook page if you want to check them out. Got some good deals there. The owner, Nick Simmons, he's an awesome guy. And of course, they sell Retro Magazine. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to the pickups. Well, my first pickup, now this came from Video Game Heaven. It was $3.99. And you're going to think, well, what kind of pickup is that? Gyromite. Yeah, it's a real common game. But the reason why I picked it up is because it has the Famicom adapter inside. These are hard to come by. You find them in stack-ups, Gyromites. Some of the early releases of the Nintendo NES games, the black box releases, some of these have those in there because there was a shortage. So they made this little adapter and started stealing games from the Famicom in order to supply the demand for the games for the console in the US. Now what's cool about this with this adapter is you can get a Famicom cartridge and plug it into this thing, plug it in your NES, and play some Japanese import games on your NES that were only on the Famicom. One of my favorites is Frontline. I will pick that cartridge up and I'll put the guts inside of here, and I'll maybe make myself a custom label that says Frontline to put on there and everything. But pretty cool. Now the way you can tell that one of these Gyromites has this, or pretty much any other NES cartridge that has this adapter in here, is you want to look at the pins on the very end. Come on, focus, you little booger. There we go. Do you see how the pin is offset to one side right here? It's not right in the middle of the trace, but it's offset to one side. That's a telltale sign that that NES cart has one of these adapters inside. So what I typically do when I'm out at flea markets or game stores and I see Gyromite cartridges, I pick every one of them up, get my little pin light out, and shine down into the cartridge slot looking for the offset pins. Of course, I get a lot of strange looks from the vendors, like, what are you doing? Those cartridges are clean, they work. Oh, don't worry about it, never mind, I'm just checking out some stuff. And I have found more of these little adapters doing that than any other method. A lot of people go by the weight, which these are a little bit heavier than a normal NES cart, you know, this Gyromite cart. But I really can't tell by the weight too much. So I always go looking at the pins inside to know if it has one or not. So something to keep an eye out for when you're out there hunting around at the flea markets or game stores and you see some Gyromite cartridges that are really cheap. Pop them open. Take a look inside. You may get lucky and get a Famicom adapter. Alright. Next thing I picked up for my television is the Dreadnought Factor. Now this is a second cartridge I've picked up. I picked this up already once before. This one I picked up from my buddy Vip over in England. He just recently got a hold of it in a television. And he's really enjoying it, and this is one of the games he really likes to wants to get a hold of, so I picked it up for him. It was only 50 cents. Again, this came from Video Game Heaven. This came from the Virginia Beach location. They had actually quite a few television games there. A lot of them in the box still, so you know, it was a great find. I was really happy to get it for 50 cents. So, awesome. Now, what's really neat about this game is what I like about it is you're basically destroying like a Star Destroyer. It looks suspiciously like a Star Destroyer from Star Wars. But it's a really fun game. If you get a chance to play this, you ought to give it a try. It was only available on the Intellivision and the Atari 8-bits. So no other home console had it. So the only way you're going to play this is either on an Atari 8-bit or an Intellivision. Now I've got some Coleco finds here. I picked up Pitfall 2 for my ColecoVision. Classic game, made by David Crane. A lot of fun to play. The one thing that irks me about Pitfall 2 is anytime you die, you gotta go all the way back to your last checkpoint. Ugh. Oh well, it's a fun game though. My Atari 2600 version I beat. So I'm looking forward to playing it on my ColecoVision now. The graphics are a little bit improved and the sound's a little bit better. So it'll be a really great game to play. And the next one I picked up is a Spectra Video cartridge called Spectron. Is that right? Yeah, Spectron. It's kind of like a Space Invaders slash Galaxian type game. You got your little invaders at the top of the screen that move around and they kind of dive down. They don't come all the way down to the bottom like Galaxian or Galaga does, but they kind of dive down a little bit and shoot at you and fly back around. It's a pretty good little shoot 'em up game for the ColecoVision, so that was great to find that. I'm slowly adding to my collection. And then a really neat, awesome find I found is a Coleco Bowlatronic. This thing's wild, man. It's a lot of fun. It's an LED bowling game. Has some neat sounds to it. It's not too hard to play. Basically what you're doing is, in order to shoot the ball, you got to first select what position you want to throw the ball from, like here to here, 1 to 6. You hold down that, and then you select what kind of curve you want. Straight on, a little bit of an arc, or a really hard arc. Then you hit the both buttons, and your ball flies up the screen and hits the pins up here, and you get your score. And of course, you got a little guy that runs across the top right here. That's your bowler, and that's your speed of your ball. He'll cycle through different speeds. He'll start off slow, then go a little faster, and a little faster. And the idea is you want to hit the bowling button before he hits this foul line right here to get the best shot. You can actually hit it early, which is going to affect when your ball is going to arc over down here. Great game by Coleco. So, pretty happy to add that to my collection of my handheld games. I'm on a Coleco hunting spree right now due to the podcast, ColecoVisions.com. Then I got some Genesis pickups. First one I picked up was Alien 3 for my Sega Genesis. Not too bad of a game. It's a little hard. Those freaking aliens just jump out of nowhere at you, but luckily you have a little radar screen where you can see the aliens when they're getting ready to come onto the screen at you, so you can set yourself up to shoot them. It's a great little adventure game. It's quite a bit of fun for a run and gun type of game. I recommend this one for the Genesis. It's a good game. And the next one I picked up is Red Zone for the Sega Genesis. Kind of a neat little game. You have a flying mission that you're in a helicopter. You can also land the helicopter and get out and run around and collect stuff and get back into your helicopter. What's neat about it is it's an overhead view game, and the playfield kind of scrolls around as you fly. It's a little disorientating at first, but once you get used to it, it's not too bad. It's an okay game. I'm not really all that impressed with it. So this game will probably either be donated to the Genesis Gems podcast, or maybe put into the Retroist Retro Jump box that I'm part of. Not got the box yet, so it may end up in that box to be shipped around to other people. If you're interested in the Retroist Jump box, I got a linky down there to it. And the next one I picked up is The Incredible Hulk by U.S. Gold. It's a beat 'em up game where you play the Hulk. It's okay. It's a little hard to control, but it's all right, I guess. I'm not really all that impressed with this game. And then the last Genesis game I picked up, box is kind of messed up here, is Light Crusader for the Sega Genesis. It's a neat little 3D isometric type of role-playing game, adventure game where you're trying to find some missing people. It's kind of neat. It's got some puzzles in there you have to solve and all kinds of different rooms you explore. It kind of reminds me of The Immortal. It's got that kind of 3D isometric view like The Immortal did. Not too bad of a game. I need to give a little bit more of a play time on it to give it a better chance, because I'm not one for RPG games too much. Then for my Sega CD system, I picked up Sonic CD, because I love the Sonic games. This one's a lot of fun. The music and sounds are just out of this world on this game. And what's really cool, it has some really neat pinball levels in here, which is pretty neat, and some 3D perspective stuff you got to play around in. So, yeah, this is a pretty cool game. So I'm glad to add this to my Sega CD collection. And then for my PlayStation pickups, I picked up Grudge Warriors. Let's take the book out of here. There we go, so you can see the book. Grudge Warriors for my PlayStation system. And basically, it's kind of like a game, kind of like Vigilante Second Offense or something. Vigilante 8 Second Offense or something like that. You got this little tank that you drive around, and you have another team of people that you're competing against, and you're trying to destroy these towers, these little generators. As you drive around, you have multiple weapons, you have a recharge station to charge up your health and shields. And it's a pretty fun game. I really like it. That's pretty cool. Then the next one I picked up was, you're going to laugh at this one, Smurf Racer. Yeah, Smurf Racer. I love Mario Kart, so anytime I find a racing game that's a knockoff of Mario Kart, I'll pick it up. And I saw this and I go, oh yeah, it looks like Mario Kart, I got to pick this up. And it's actually a pretty fun game. What's really nice is it does use the analog control on your PS1 controller, so it's not too bad to play this game at all. A lot of fun. Of course, I got to play Jokey Smurf because I dig Jokey Smurf, man. He's my favorite Smurf. He's cool.
It's a surprise!
He's cool. And then my last pickup, which is an awesome pickup. This is a very obscure game for the PlayStation. In the Hunt. This is a home version of the arcade game by the same name called In the Hunt. Basically, you've got a submarine, and you're going along underneath the ocean, and you're shooting other submarines. You can drop depth charges to bomb stuff below you. You can shoot missiles up to destroy stuff that's being dropped down on you, or if you surface, you can shoot guns up at the planes and helicopters and everything above the water surface. It's basically like a bullet hell game with shots all over the place. But it's a lot of fun. I like the unlimited continues it has. So bad players like me can actually get a little bit down into the game and really enjoy it. So if you ever run across this in the wild, pick it up. It's a great game on the PlayStation. That's pretty much all the pickups this week. So thanks for watching.